Michael, when it comes to what we just saw this last weekend, again, another apparent assassination attempt, manifesto allegedly from
Oh yeah.
this guy is sent out. And of course, we say allegedly, even though there's a lot of evidence that seems to be pointing at this. He got to go through the whole process, of course, due process and all. But the response from some in the press already on the left, you talk about them predominantly being kind of anti-human, anti-life, anti-decency in general. What message would you have to those of the Catholic or Christian persuasion in general? Because it's getting easier, I think, and I've heard from a few Christians as of late in the last 24 to 48 hours after that happened, that shooting, that they're just getting fed up, like to the
Hmm.
point where I mean they don't want violence, but we're kind of losing this sense of any kind of, I don't say patience, or it's easier to become a little less prudent on how we respond to this because
Yeah.
of how frustrating it is getting. That, for example, again, the Jimmy Kimmel joke, why is this guy not fired? Just immediately fired. Why would there be any support for anything like this for ABC? I'm gonna, if anybody's an ABC fan, anything of ABC, I recommend you just boycott them and let them know if you have to, that this is just unacceptable. But your message to those of on the Christian side, Catholic side, that how we should be responding in general to these things, what would you say?
Well, I will say this, that the gift of fortitude, which comes with confirmation, the gift of fortitude is the ability to stand against the winds and the currents of the world. And I can't think of a better example of that than St. John resting his head on our Lord's chest at the Last Supper. Our Lord had spoken of betrayal. He spoke of his death. He spoke of sufferings to come. And in the midst of all of that discourse, St. John rested his head on our Lord's breast. And then who was the only one at the foot of the cross of all the apostles? It was St. John. He was he was fortified because he rested on the Lord even in the midst of hearing about the terrible things that were about to befall them. At the Last Supper, our Lord told Peter that he was about to betray him 3 times. And Peter said, of course, that's never going to happen. But he spoke of these things. He told them what was coming. He told them of this suffering that was about to take place. But St. John, he rested his head on our Lord's breast. And I think that if we understand really and truly what the Sacred Heart is and how much peace there comes from resting ourselves in the Sacred Heart, we can find that temperance, that fortitude, and that patience that we really and truly need in a world that is trying to agitate us to the point of getting us to sin through anger. We have to rest on our Lord in order to have that strength. That's where St. John found it, and that's where we'll find it.